Hello, welcome to the TJ13 TV's roundup of 2017 Formula 1 testing with our in-house expert AJ. Don't forget to let us know what you think in the comments underneath the video, and particularly give us your thoughts on AJ's predictions for Melbourne. Might raise a few eyebrows. Over to AJ. AJ, winter testing is done for 2017, 2 weeks until we're in Melbourne. How do you think testing has gone for the F1 teams this year?
Well, Charlie, winter testing for Formula One teams is all about putting what is a brand new prototype racing machine out on the circuit. These things have got something like 20,000 plus components, and they need to do as much mileage as possible. So whilst we, the fans, are desperate to see who's got the quickest car, the engineers, that's just really one small aspect of what they're trying to achieve in terms of building a winning Formula One car.
So how has the mileage battle played out in the Circuit de Catalunya?
Well, let's not forget, despite the big new 2017 rule changes, Formula One is still an engine formula, and Mercedes has dominated the mileage count again this year. So Brackley engines amongst the Mercedes teams have covered the equivalent of just over 40 Grand Prix races. That's some 12,500 kilometres. I bet most people wouldn't realise who was second in terms of distance, because it's Renault, and they've managed 28 Grand Prix, with Ferrari back in third place with 25 Grand Prix of distance on the 2017 Ferrari engines. Of course, Ferrari have a Sauber as a customer who are running the 2016 engine, so they're slightly disadvantaged in terms of getting lappage in for the 27 version. I think Sauber managed about 11 Grand Prix on obviously what's a well-tried and tested engine already.
Dare I ask? Zach Brown must be tearing his hair out. McLaren.
Honda. Well, of course, they only have McLaren out on track testing their new power unit. Just 6 Grand Prix for the ex-World Championship winning partners, I'm afraid, Charlie. And that's about 10,500 kilometres less than the Mercedes power unit managed amongst the various teams.
Ouch, that is not going to be an easy catch-up for McLaren. But elsewhere in testing, how are we looking for the advertised 5 to 6 second a lap improvement?
Well, based on the 2016 lap times from the Spanish Grand Prix, Mercedes improved their time by just over 2.5 seconds compared to 2016 testing. It was about 3.5 seconds. But other teams did fare better than that. Renault were 4.5 seconds better than their Spanish GP weekend best time. And Ferrari were very, very close, just under 4.5 seconds, a few tenths behind Renault.
Which has got to be good news, I guess, for Formula One fans who have had enough of Mercedes just driving away at the front.
Yeah, but Renault was starting from a pretty low base, let's remember. So their improvement of 4.5 seconds, a couple of seconds off the pace of Mercedes anyway. But Ferrari, that's interesting. The only thing I'd say, and I think we mentioned it once before in week one testing review chat that we had, Mercedes were clearly sandbagging at 2016 testing last year, because by the time they got to the Spanish Grand Prix, they were massacring the kind of times that they were doing. They were so much quicker during the Spanish Grand Prix weekend than they were of their testing times, much more so than the other teams, which would suggest at testing they were driving with the motor turned right down.
Lewis Hamilton didn't seem over the moon with the week.
Absolutely. Lewis did 160 laps less than teammate Valtteri Bottas during the 8 days, and his best lap was slower than his teammates and both the Ferrari drivers. And he was quite negative after the final day of testing when he said he didn't get the car into the window properly, whatever that means.
Well, for the sake of the spectacle, let's hope that continues and Bottas can give him a hard time. But elsewhere in the field, who else caught your eye? It looked like Felipe Massa was having a good time, especially seeing as he was expecting to be retired now.
Yeah, the FW40 looks quite a decent car. Williams showed a lot of promise back in 2014, if you remember, some podiums and stuff when the new engine formula came out. And there's some evidence that they've got a nice chassis. They've got the Mercedes power unit. They could go well this year.
And Red Bull?
Well, Red Bull, such high hopes. We were hearing about, new is coming back. He's got a new interest because there's new aerodynamic rules. He's been building boats for the last couple of years. But I think there's some problems with the power unit that Renault have provided, still not really delivering what Ferrari and Mercedes are capable of. And that could, with a Williams revival, see Red Bull struggle to maintain P2 or P3 in the championship. Who knows? That's really quite an exciting thing to see. I can't wait for Melbourne just to see where they actually are in the pecking order.
Final question. We didn't prepare for this. I haven't given you any warning, but what's your podium in Melbourne? I want to put you on the spot.
I'm going to go Kimi Raikkonen to win. Valtteri Bottas P2 and Lewis Hamilton P3.
Okay, I think there's a few people might want to take you up on a bet for that one, AJ, but you never know. You've been right with some predictions.
You've got to live in hope, haven't you, Charlie? You've got to live in hope.
You've got to live in hope. Come on, Kimi, I might put a tenner on him.
Absolutely.
Thanks, AJ.
See you soon. Bye-bye.